Your eyes widen in shock. This place, it's like a palace. Jungkook smirks, slightly stepping behind her and wraps his arm around her waist. You deserve more than a palace, baby. You deserve the whole world, and I will give it to you. She blushed, feeling his warm breath against her neck. You are being so much. He titled his head. Too much, he whispered against her skin. That's what love is supposed to be, too much. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the large glass windows. She slowly opened her eyes, expecting to see Jungkook beside her, but the bed was empty. Jungkook, she called softly. There was no answer. She stood up and walked towards the door, but when she tried to open it, it didn't move. It locked. Her heart began to beat faster. Jungkook, she said again, louder, this time silence. She looked around, realizing he had locked her inside. At first, anger filled her, but slowly fear replaced it. The huge penthouse felt too quiet, too empty. Every sound, even her own breathing, echoed. After some time, tears slipped from her eyes. She sat on the floor, hugging her knees, whispering to herself, why would he lock me here? Hours later, the sound of a lock turning made her jump. The door opened and Jungkook walked in, but something was wrong. His shirt was covered in blood. His hands were shaking. His left arm had a deep cut, still bleeding. 𝒂𝒓𝒆, Jungkook, what happened to you? He looked at her, his expression unreadable. It's nothing, he said coldly. Tried to walk past her. She ran in front of him, blocking his way. Nothing, you are bleeding. Jungkook, what do you do? He looked down at his arm and sighed, a rival gang crossed my path. I handle it. Handle it, she repeated softly, her voice trembling. He finally looked into her eyes, his dark gaze sharp yet calm. And they will not hurt us again, he said quietly. No one touch what's mine. You froze at his words. His tone was both protective and terrifying. She wanted to argue, but seeing him hurt broke her heart. Sit down, he said firmly, taking his hand. He raised an elbow. You are giving me orders now, sweetheart? Yes, she said, trying to sound brave. Sit now. For the first time that night, he smiled faintly and obeyed. She quickly brought the first aid box, cleaning his wound carefully. The smell of blood made her feel dizzy, but she focused. Jungkook watched her silently as she worked. The way her hand trembles, the way her lashes move. With every blink, he could feel her fear, but also her care. You are scared of me, are not you? He whispered. She stopped for a second, not looking up. Sometimes, she admitted honestly. He leaned closer, his voice soft yet dangerous. Good fear keeps love alive. Her hand passed. That's not love, Jungkook. He smiled faintly, catching her breast gently. Then what it is him? And because whenever this is, I can't breathe without you. You look at him. His eyes were darker, full of something wild and broken. You can't keep living like this, she said quietly. He pressed his thumb across her cheek, smearing a faint line of blood on her skin. And you can't live without me. Don't even try, Angel. She looked down, her cheeks red as he leaned in closer. His voice dropped lower, almost a whisper. You have no idea what do you do to me, he murmured. When I see you, everything else disappears. You make me want to protect you, lock you away, keep you only for myself. Her heart pounded. That's not love, Jungkook, that's obsession. He giggled softly, her lips just inches from hers. Then let me to be obsessed. His voice was both a confession and warning. He pulled her closer, pressing a gentle kiss on her forehead. I had let her dry, then see you hurt. I did burn the world for you. Tears filled her eyes again, not from fear, but from the strange warmth in his words. She whispered softly, then don't leave me alone again. He nodded slowly, his eyes softening. Never, he promised, not for a second. He kissed her again, this time with a mix of tenderness and pain. The kind of kiss that said everything his words couldn't. And as the day passed, you realized something she couldn't deny anymore. Jungkook's love was dark, dangerous, and consuming. But somehow, deep inside that darkness was the only place where they truly felt safe. That evening, the streets were full of lights, music, and laughter. You walked beside Jungkook, holding his hand tightly for a moment. Everything felt normal, but when in the busy crowd, a man brushed past her. His hand accidentally touched hers. It was only for a second, but Jungkook froze. His eyes turned cold. Who was dead? His voice dropped to almost a growl. You look up quickly. It was nothing. Jungkook, just someone passed by, but Jungkook's jaw tightened. No one touched you, no one. Before she could stop him, his man had already dragged the man away. Jungkook, she gets it was an accident. He didn't listen. He just took her hand and said in deep, quiet voice, "Come with me." Down in the building's basement, the air felt heavy. The man sat there shaking, tried to explain. "Please, sir, it was a mistake. I didn't mean." Jungkook's expression didn't change. He moved closer, his presence cold and dangerous. "I don't care what you mean," he said. "You touched what's mine." You stood behind him, trembling. "Jungkook, please don't hurt her." He looked back at her, eyes filled with a strange mix of pain and anger. "You think I can just stand there and watch everyone else lay a hand on you? Please," she whispered again, tears in her eyes. "Let him go." Jungkook finally signaled to his man, "Take him out of there." The man was carried away unconscious. The room fell silent, except of you shaky breathing. She stepped back, always terrified. "You are scared me, Jungkook." He moved closer. "You don't understand. When someone touches you, I lose control. You are mine, only mine." She turned and ran toward the stairs, but he caught her wrist gently yet firmly. "Don't run from me," he said softly. "Let me go," she whispered, tears rolling down her cheeks. He looked at her face, frightened, fragile, and signaled deeply. Then, without another word, he led her out of the basement and back to the penthouse. The car ride was silent. Jungkook's hand rested on her knees, trying to comfort her, but you just stared out the window, her heart pounding. When they reached the penthouse, he turned to her. "You hate me right now," he said quietly, "but one day you will understand everything I do. I do because I can't lose you." She didn't answer. She just looked at him with tight eyes. That night their trip ended. They flew back to Italy. Days passed, and you finally understood something. She couldn't escape Jungkook. No matter how far she tried to run, he could always find her. So she stopped fighting. She decided to accept him, the darkness, the love, the obsession, all of it. But even as she smiled beside him, deep inside she still trembled, because she knew the truth. Loving Jungkook means living in his world, a world where love and fear were the same thing. It was a quiet evening in Italy. The mansion was peaceful for once. No cars shouting, no meeting, no threat, just silence. You stood near the window looking out at the snow. Jungkook entered, his steps slow and quiet. "Why do you look so lost?" he asked softly. "Closer." "You didn't turn around, Jungkook," she said quietly. "Why do you leave this world? The mafia, the fighting, the blood. Can't you stop it?" He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "You know I can't." "Why not?" she asked, her voice breaking. "You say you love me, but how can you love me when you live in a world full of danger? Every time you walk out that door, I am scared." Jungkook moved closer until he stood right behind her. He whispered, "I live in this world because of you. If I walk away, you will not be safe. My enemies will come for you. This is the only way I can protect you." She turned to face him, eyes full of tears. "But who will protect me from you, Jungkook?" He froze at her words. For the first time, he didn't know what to say. Days passed. Even though Jungkook treated her gently, you can't help but fear him. Every time he got angry or jealous, she remembered his range, the way he had lost control. She started avoiding him, keeping her distance. But Jungkook noticed. He noticed how she trembled when he come too close, how she avoided his touch even when her eyes told another story. One day he found her sitting alone in the room, tears in her eyes. He sat down beside her. You are scared of me?" he said quietly. She looked away sometimes. He clenched his fists. "I never wanted that." You look at him, searching for something, regret, pain, truth, and she sighed. All she realized that behind his rudeness behavior was a man who had only ever known violence, a man who didn't know how to love softly, but loved deeply anyway. That night, for the first time, she spoke honestly. "Jungkook, I thought what you felt for me was obsession," she whispered. "I thought you wanted to own me, not love me. But every time you save me, every time you protect me, when I push you away, I saw the truth." He turned to her slowly, eyes dark but soft. "And what truth is that? That you do love me?" she said, smiling faintly. "You just don't know how to show it in the right way." For a moment, Jungkook didn't breathe. Then he reached out and took her hand. "You have no idea how many times I wished to be someone else for you. Someone normal, someone who didn't have blood in his hands." You squeezed his hand. "It's too late for that, but maybe it's not too late for us." From that day, things began to change slowly but surely. Jungkook tried to control his anger. He started spending more time with her, showing her his gentle side. Sometimes they would walk in the garden at night, his arm around her waist, her head resting against his shoulder. "I used to think love was weakness," Jungkook confessed one night, "but when you cry, I feel weaker whenever you smile. That's not weakness, that's love." A few weeks later, Jungkook took you to meet her brother and sister-in-law. It was the first time she had seen them in years. They welcomed her warmly, hugged her tightly. But during the visit, you overheard something that changed her forever. She leaned. She was adopted. She stood there silently, her heart sinking, but she didn't say anything. Her brother and sister-in-law had always loved her more than anyone else. They had given her a home, a family. Nothing could change that. Later in the car, Jungkook looked at her. "You hear it, didn't you?" You slowly nodded. "I didn't tell you before," he said carefully, "because I knew it would help, but I wanted you to see that love is not always about blood. Sometimes it's about who stays." Tears filled her eyes. She looked at him, the same man who had once scared her to death, now speaking with a softness she did never imagine. "Jungkook," she whispered, "you have changed." He gave a faint smile. "No, you changed me." That night back at the mansion, Jungkook finally opened his heart completely. He took her hand and said, I have done terrible things. I have never hurt you. But if I could go back, I did do anything to make it right. You are the one light I have in this dark life." She looked at him, her heart heavy but full. "I forgive you," she said quietly, "because now I know your love was never fake. It was just broken." Jungkook leaned closer, his forehead resting against her. "I can't promise to stop being jealous," he whispered with a half smile, "but I promise I will never let my darkness hurt you again. Then I guess we are even," she said softly, "because I can't promise to stop loving you." He giggled quietly and pulled her into his arms. As months passed, the world around them remained dangerous. But inside their mansion there was a peace. Jungkook still got possessive whenever another man looked at her for a long time, but now you will just look and tease. "Relax, Mafia King, I am yours." He smirked and pulled her closer. "Say that again," she whispered. "I am yours," and he kissed her gently, not like the other cold, ruthless Jungkook the world fair, but like a man finally learning what love really meant. In the same room where their story had begun with fear and pain, it now ended with warmth and trust, because Ryu had stopped running and Jungkook had finally stopped chasing. They had both found the same thing in each other: peace inside the chaos.